Recite The Lamb by William Blake.
Okay, The Lamb by William Blake. Little lamb who made thee, dost thou know who made thee, gave thee life and bid thee feed? By the stream and o'er the mead, gave thee clothing of delight, softest clothing, woody bright, gave thee such a tender voice, making all the vales rejoice. Little lamb who made thee, dost thou know who made thee? Little lamb, I'll tell thee, little lamb, I'll tell thee. He is called by thy name, for he calls himself a lamb. He is meek and he is mild, he became a little child. I a child and thou a lamb. We are called by his name. Little lamb, God bless thee. Little lamb, God bless thee.
Read aloud passages from A Little Princess.
Okay. What is your name? She said. To explain Mrs. St. John's amazement, one must recall that a new pupil is for a short time a somewhat uncertain thing, and of this new pupil the entire school had talked the night before until it fell asleep, quite exhausted by excitement and contradictory stories. A new people with a carriage and a pony and a maid and a voyage from India to discuss was not just an ordinary acquaintance. My name is Ermengarde St. John, she answered. Mine is Sarah Crew, said Sarah. Yours is pretty. It sounds like a storybook. Do you like it? Fluttered Ermengarde. I like yours. I like yours.
Describe Sarah.
So Sarah has green eyes, and she's sad whenever she thinks about her daddy that's gone for a bit, and she can speak French. And the teacher was like, she is French, and the teacher thought that Sarah was not French. She cannot speak French, but she is French. And Sarah makes up her own stories and plays pretend.
Describe one of Sarah's friends.
Ermengarde is one of Sarah's friends, and Ermengarde has blue eyes and she has a round chubby face, and she's always amazed with Sarah because Sarah makes up stories and plays pretend. And Ermengarde has never done that. And Ermengarde is also kind. When Sarah was sad about her daddy not gone, Ermengarde wasn't happy. Ermengarde was also sad. And Ermengarde couldn't do the French lessons, but Sarah helped.
What's your favorite part in Merchant of Venice?
So my favorite part is I'm gonna do this before that the casket parts. So my favorite part. So this part, Shylock was like, there was a person named Shylock, and then he said, "Here, you can have the money, Antonio, but if you don't repay me, I will get 1 pound of your flesh. And then if you don't repay me in 3 months, I will get a pound of your flesh in any part of your body, any part I want." And then Antonio was getting to his money to repay him, but then his ship was shipwrecked. And now Shylock was happy because Shylock will have 1 pound of his flesh. And then Bassanio, she was like going to be married to Portia. But then there was a game of free caskets. The free caskets were, the gold casket was what people desire, and the silver casket was people deserve, and then the lead one's like what people give. And then so one man went first, and then he was like opened it, and it's like death, the gold one. And then the next person chose the silver one. The silver one was what people desire. No, wait, no, what people deserve. And then when you opened it, he found, do I deserve more than a fool's head? That's what he said. And then Bassanio chose the lead one because it's obvious that the gold and silver is not gonna be it. It's gonna be the lead one. They're trying to trick you with the gold and silver. So when Bassanio chose the lead one, it was Portia's portrait. They had to find Portia's portrait to see who gets married. And then Bassanio and Portia was married, and like gave a ring and never depart this, Bassanio said.
What do you remember from the story Minotaur?
So the Minotaur, so there was a boy named Theseus, and his mommy was named Ephra. And Ephra said, if you want to meet your father, the King Aegus, you need to lift this rock. So when Theseus tried to do it, they couldn't do it, but after some time, soon he pulled up the rock and put it on the stone slab and found some armor and a sword. So now he can become a warrior. And then Ephra said to Theseus that be careful on the street. And then he did be careful, and then there's like a monster, and then he cut the monster into pieces. And then his fame traveled faster than he did because it went to King Aegeus' town na. And then when Theseus arrived, people got him and like showed him to the king. Behold, King Aegeus, your son! And then after a bit he left, and then his cousins, Theseus's cousins were there, and they were like, come on. And then he's like, look, King Aegeus, a wicked man. And then King Aegeus was like, what? Aha, what a wicked man indeed. And then what do you want me to do with him? And then there was a witch, I forgot the name, and then I think it was a girl, and then the witch was like, don't need to do that. That's my witch voice. And then just drink with him some wine. And then when a fly went to the drink and touched it, it was poison, so the fly died. And then the witch smiled at the cousins of Theseus. And then Theseus was like, ooh, yummy, what? And then Theseus was scared and waiting for King Aegeus to remember him. And then he did. That's all I remember.
Thank you, Noah.